Hi there. I'm Dr. Suzanne Bechtel, a passionate legal educator dedicated to making legal studies clear, practical, and even a little inspiring. On this channel, you'll find a growing collection of videos designed to help you prepare for the Certified Paralegal exam. It covers key topics, breaking down complex concepts, and offering study tips that actually stick. If you're looking for a deeper dive, check out my Teachable School, where I offer structured courses, interactive tools, and exclusive resources to support your journey towards certification. Watch this video to the end and you'll find a coupon code for a discount. Don't forget to subscribe and explore the playlists. Your success on the NALA CP exam starts here. Now, before we move on to the lecture, there are two important disclaimers. First of all, this is not considered legal advice. Everything shared here is designed to support your learning journey. Also, I am not a lawyer. This course is designed to help you understand the concepts of the exam. Hello and welcome to another lecture for the Business Organizations section of the NALA preparation course. This lecture introduces the corporation, and it focuses on the definitions and nature of corporations, and this and the rest of the lectures to follow focus on business corporations unless it's been noted otherwise. Don't forget that there are review notes posted in the course. You're able to follow along with this lecture with some written review notes, and at the end of each lecture section, there are 10 or 11 review questions that you can work with to enhance your knowledge. So in this lecture, we're going to focus on these areas: the corporation, the characteristics of the corporation, the various types of corporations, the advantages and disadvantages of doing business as a corporation compared to other forms, and the role of the corporate paralegals. The lecture won't cover the resources available to corporate paralegals, but they are in the lecture notes. Corporations are artificial entities. They're separate from their owners, and they can exist perpetually. And they have certain rights and powers that are exercised through their agents. In general, state statutes grant a corporation the right to perpetual duration and succession in its corporate name. The State Business Corporation Act is something that may enumerate specific powers granted to corporations. You'll also be referring to common law and case law, along with federal statutes and regulations and state regulations that also apply to corporations. Most state business corporations are modeled after the Model Business Corporation Act, which was first published way far back in 1950, or the 1984 revised Model Business Corporation Act. You can also call that the RMBA or RMBCA. And the 1984 RMBCA continues to be revised periodically. The corporation's state of domicile is the state in which the corporation was incorporated. I bring that up on this slide so you'll know to differentiate among states, because not every state is going to have the exact same laws, despite the model laws that are published by the National Committee. Those are not just copied and pasted into legislation in the various states. So while statutes are what we use to learn about the specific powers enumerated by law, of course, common law, case law, federal statutes, regulations, state statutes, regulations of other types also apply. But the internal affairs of the corporation are generally governed by state statutes as well. And again, from the corporation's state of domicile. In general, I take a little pause and get oriented again. I tried this earlier. I did a round and went, wait a minute, I'm repeating myself. But I'm not. I am if you wanted to listen to my previous lecture that I abandoned. Anyway, here we are on slide 5, and the corporations are artificial persons. They're entitled to many of the same rights as natural persons, and generally statutes of the state grant a corporation the right to perpetual duration and succession in its corporate name. All the powers of an individual to do things necessary or convenient to carry out the corporation's business and affairs are also handled through the corporate powers enumerated uh, in the statutes and the bylaws. There are many advantages to doing business as a corporation. Um, it's a separate entity, so the corporation itself is liable for debts and obligations. So shareholders, directors, and officers are generally free from personal liability for the debts and obligations of the corporation. They're can be quite limited as a result of the type of ownership that the shareholders and then directors and officers in their roles as agents. As already mentioned, the corporation has the ability to exist perpetually, and the ownership interest of a corporation is easily transferred. So stock can be sold or gifted to others without affecting the continuity of the corporation or its business purpose. The centralized management of a corporation is helpful because it streamlines the decision-making process. And owners of a corporation may be in a position to take advantage of several qualified business plans, and shareholders of a corporation may choose its tax year. Corporations also have increased potential for raising capital compared to other types of business. Disadvantages include they're a complex type of business organization. The formation and operation of corporations is much more formal than other types, and reporting requirements can also be more formal in this type of business structure. Double taxation on corporate income, as well as the taxes assessed only on corporations, can also be a disadvantage to transacting business as a corporation. Piercing the corporate veil comes up again in this lecture. We've talked about it in partnerships and other forms of business. Under certain circumstances, the corporate veil can be pierced and the corporate entity disregarded. And if the corporate veil is pierced, the corporate shareholders, directors, or officers can be held personally liable for the corporation's obligations. The corporate veil may be pierced when a corporation is formed or operated to commit fraud or other illegal activity, or to defend a crime. And the veil of the corporate veil of a small corporation may be pierced to prevent an inequity, injustice, or fraud, especially when the corporate formalities are not followed. The corporation is found to be merely like an alter ego of a sole shareholder. So there are, eyebrows can be raised a little bit more with these smaller ones than the larger. So business corporations come in different types and classifications. They're the most common type of corporation. Business corporations are by far the most common type of corporation in the United States. Professional corporations are formed only for the purpose of rendering the services of a single profession. And all shareholders of professional corporations must be licensed and disciplined. Nonprofit corporations, or also called not-for-profit corporations, they're formed only for a certain nonprofit purpose. And some nonprofit corporations also qualify to be tax exempt, but there requires an application to the Internal Revenue Service, and that would look into the IRC code 501C. 501C corporation is where that comes from. S-corps, they are a special type of corporation. They're formed pursuant to subchapter S of the Internal Revenue Code, and they are taxed as partnerships. These shareholders of these corporations, they who wish partnership taxation status may file to be treated as an S-corp with the Internal Revenue Service Form 2553. And S-corps have to meet several eligibility requirements. One, for example, is they must have no more than 100 shareholders, and the corporation may not issue more than one class of stock. They also pass-through taxation makes the S corporation very popular in the business world of the United States. So corporations with a small number of stockholders and stock that's not publicly traded are often referred to as closely held corporations or close corporations. And these are subject to Business Corporation Acts of their states of domicile, meaning acts in the law. Many states have adopted special closed corporation statutes, by the way, and they take into consideration this unique nature of the smaller corporation. And when they qualify, they can make an election as a close corporation in some states. The statutes can also provide for restriction on the transfer of shares, so a closed corporation has some value there too. Parent corporations are those that hold stock in their subsidiary corporations, enough stock to control all the subsidiaries. And the term sister or affiliate, sister corporation and affiliate corporation, these refer to corporations owned or controlled by the same owners. Paralegals do a lot in corporate world. If you're working directly within a corporation or working in a traditional form at a law firm, helping helping lawyers assist corporations. And here are just a few of the areas that paralegals work in their role as a corporate paralegal. There are some other resources and some other listings of these various number of duties that the paralegal might perform, and they're in the review notes. There's another page of it here too. So this concludes the lecture on corporations, and the next one is actually about incorporations, incorporating basically. So do the review questions, try the practice quiz questions, and thank you. I hope you got some good information from this video lecture. Don't forget that I have a Teachable school account. Here is the address for that, mayananda-s-school.teachable.com. The name of my school is Mayananda. And also there's a coupon here for you to save some money. And finally, good luck on the exam. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.